Let's make an easy change handle. Hi and welcome. Suppose you're traveling a lot with your tools, then it is not very handy to have them long like this. Better to have them short like this. So that's one way to use these heads and make your own handle for it. The other thing is, if you make your own handle and you have them hanging behind you in a rack, you immediately see what handle you need. And if you buy them in a set, all handles are looking the same. So, there you go. This one, no. This one, no. This one, yeah, that was it. Well, if you make your own, you see immediately. Why would I use this carb collet chuck? Because it is a collet chuck. There's the collet. And you put it in like that. And to get your tool in, it is just up. And it is tight. And if it's not tight enough, you can put a hook tool on here and even clamp it tighter.
Nice.
Well, it comes in especially handy when you use a hollowing tool. For instance, this is the Woodcut Proform, and I have this tool often very deep in the handle because this part is way thicker than this part, so it gives me much less vibration if I'm hollowing this far over the tool rest. So let's make one. Let's see what's in the box. Ooh. Two things are in the box. One is the collet head itself. If you buy it, it doesn't have a collet because, well, you need to add the collet yourself. It's an ER25 collet. Here's one that is clamps from 16 to 15 millimeters, and that's the one that you need if you, for instance, want to clamp a 16 millimeter tool, or like this one, the 5/8 inch tool. And you find a stainless steel ring, and the stainless steel ring goes behind the head on the wood. You see it's hollow, so the tool can slide through the gap. Put these back for a minute because first we have to make the wood round. I have a nice piece of ash that is long. If you want to make a hollowing tool, for instance, to use with the collet chuck, take some heavy, long wood so you can put your handle underneath your arm and between your arm and body. Having said that, also this head is pretty heavy. So if you want to use it for a very thin, short spindle gouge, find something else. Use it on a heavy bowl gouge or on a hollowing tool. Well, first it starts, of course, with pointing out the middle.
That's my favorite tool.
Yeah, I know.
Really, it is.
I know, yeah, it's a nice thing. Clamp it, hit it, and there's your center. We put this one, the center point, against the drill, and that's the first thing we'll do. We drill a hole. This one is 19.5 millimeter, and if I have this part goes in, and that's 20, so there's 0.5 millimeter of difference, but it makes it's sure that it's very stuck in the wood. You'll never get it out. It's also hard to get it in, by the way. Let's start drilling. Hold it here. Be sure you don't go in like this, but here you have your tailstock, and that's a good way to keep it in line. Sorry for the sounds. You can, if you want, you can spray some oil on here that makes it beep less. The drill is done, so let's take that one out and put a drive center in. And now it is easy, it is important that we have this hole exactly in the middle of our tool. And then you will say, well, it's always in the middle, but it's not, because this ring has to go over very precise, because it later on it has to go exactly in, and that's the play we have, so that's not much. So make sure that this hole, that you are sure that this hole will be in the middle exactly. So don't use a center like this, but use a cone like this. So if I now put my wood on there, I'm sure that it is exactly in the middle. Let's find the middle here also. That is the middle. Make sure there's no fibers in the hole in here. And now we can start shaping our handle. And that starts
Taking the edges off.
with taking the edges off. Yep. We use a roughing gouge, of course. There we go. Always make sure that you switch off your machine when you move the tool rest. So, now we're going to take the ring, this ring, and mount it on here. That's the first thing I do before I shape the handle. And I do that so that if I put a bit pressure on the cone here, that the wood doesn't split because the ring is there. And in the meantime, it's terribly itching in my shirt. Something. Sorry for that, please. The ring is 30 millimeters. So let's make it 30 millimeters. Pencil, ring, make sure a little bit of wood is coming out of the ring. So we have to go until there. That is where I will be taking off some wood. 30 mils. We can measure. That's 35, so 2.5 mils off. So 33. 32. And finally we make a little chamfer here so that the ring slides over the wood more easy. $30 mils. Okay, time to try if the ring fits. It has to be a snug fit, but there must not be any room.
It sounds like a snug fit.
Yeah, it is. It could use just a little tap on the head. Let's do that. One moment, be back in a minute. You see, I need to move 3 millimeters more. This is a piece of cast iron from a former career. Now you may guess my career before. There we go. Boink. There he is.
Oh, great.
What shape shall we make it? Well, if you look at a handle, it is always there where you hold it. Well, you gotta try and hold it. For me, 33, 34 mils fits nice in my hands. Over here it can be a little bit thinner. It doesn't have to be... well, actually what I'm saying is as long as you can hold it, it's okay. So it doesn't have to have a pretty shape, but well, it's always nice to look at a good shape, Elise.
Yes, for sure.
So here one of my hands is going to be, so there I would like it to be a little bit bigger, and now it is still 48 millimeters, so it might be a little bit less. Let's start shaping. And the last piece. This is not as smooth as I wanted it to be, so let me make that a bit better. And we start sanding it. It's a handle, so don't make it too smooth, otherwise it gets too slippery also, of course. Just 180 or 240, that's more than enough. That's it. If you look at the shape, you might want to make it a little bit thinner here, so that, well, that looks more elegant, you see. But if I want weight, well, don't take it away here and just leave it there. And I want weight in my handle. So let's take it out now. Release the pressure a little bit and then we'll take it out. There it is. Sand the back. And now comes the time that we tap it in. First I will sand this a little bit so that I'm sure that I can tap it in. And now I also realize that normally you leave a little edge of wood here so that it curls around the ring. But in this case, well, just for the looks actually, that I want this ring to connect with this part. So that is against each other like this. So I said leave a little bit of wood outside of the ring, but that was not a good idea. So now I saw it away. Or shall I turn it away? Whatever, I'll get a saw. Hammer. Bit of sand. Be sure that there's no shavings or fibers on the inside. And if there's not a little chamfer on there, make one so that it finds its way easier. And then go back to your workbench or put a block of wood on your lathe. And make sure, oh, almost forgot, and make sure that you take the collet out. Because these collets are sometimes kind of, no, not sometimes, most of the time are kind of fragile. There we go. Tap it straight.
Great.
Did you hear it? That was the last one. and it slides over perfectly. Put it in and get your tool.
Nice. Nice.
And start turning again.
Oh, that's good.
There it is. You can finish it the way you want. Lots of people don't finish it because if you hold it enough, there will be some sort of a layer, some sort of a patina on it that will, and in the end it'll feel as your own tool. The Carp Quick Release Collet. It is good to work with, and more important, it is fun to make. See you next time.